Here are the questions on chat. There. Okay. Now we are live on YouTube. Hello, YouTube. Good evening. I'm Marcos, and I'm here with Andrea. And we are from Talk and Talk. And we are here at this moment to talk about and learn about English. First of all, let me introduce Talk and Talk to you. TNT is a conversation platform for beginner, intermediate, and advanced English speakers. Our live conversations meetings are for all level speakers. Talk and Talk is not a regular class. I'm not a teacher. We are not here to teach you anything. However, we learn through practicing in a real environment. Here, we develop our fluency and confidence in an English speaker through conversation, speaking. We try to be respectful and don't correct anyone unless it's needed or it's asked for. And now I hope you enjoy it. We are here today to talk about overcoming procrastination and strategies that work for this. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Marcos. I'm 48 years old. I live in a small country near São Paulo. Its name is Cajamar, and it's well known for the logistics center who are placed here from companies like Mercado Livre and Amazon. So people who buys online from these companies receives packages that comes from this city. I'm married. I'm a father of two girls. I have a background as a software developer, but actually I'm working as a project manager. I'm here in Talk and Talk since last August. I'm hosting immersions since December. And the immersions are helping me a lot to improve my confidence in speaking English. In my free time, I love to cook. I love to read. I love to stay with my family, to travel, to ride a bike, to go a park, and so on. That's a little bit about me. Can you introduce yourself, Andrea, please?
Yes, good evening, guys. My name is Andrea. I am 47 years old. I was born in São Bernardo do Campo, but I've been living in Guarujá since I was 7 years old, so it's almost 40 years living here. I like living here, even though I consider that Guarujá is a place that just have beaches, and I don't like so much to go to the beach because I am used to it. And I think we take it for granted, because it's near. So I don't enjoy so much. But I remember when I was a child, I used to go to the beach every day, maybe can be it the problem. But okay, I think it's a great opportunity to enjoy. When it's possible, I go with my husband because my husband loves go to the beach. I am an administrative assistant in a Japanese restaurant. I've been working there since 2027. Oh, 2017, sorry. Um, Basically, I am responsible for pay the bills, the employees, some suppliers, and do the bureaucratic things. Uh, in my free time, I really enjoy listening to music, drink wine, cooking, and be here on Talk and Talk to practice my speaking skills. As you can see, I need to improve a lot. I forgot a lot of words, but it's not a problem because since I am attending here on the immersion, I became more confident to speak to, how can I say that? I don't know, to express myself, because sometimes I just thinking about what the others people will think about my English or something like that, and I got stuck. And nowadays I don't have this problem, and I think the most important is it, to have confidence, to have a great communication. That's it. Because of this, I am here.
You speak a very good English, Andrea.
Oh, thanks so
Congratulations.
much, Marcos.
Before we start, drinking wine is one of my passions too.
Ah, I love
What
it.
kind of wine do you prefer?
I
White,
prefer
red?
I prefer reds. And for example, we are in summer, and I usually I drink Lambrusco because it's
Hello.
fresh. So I
Yes,
really
it is.
love drink wine.
Lambrusco can be drink almost frozen.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
it's
perfect.
delicious.
Yes, it is. Great. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Our first question is, what do you think are the main reasons people procrastinate? What do you think about this,
Oh,
Andrea?
it's a good question, Marcos, because I consider myself a procrastinating person.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I think it can be the lack of organization. I consider myself a organized person at work, but when I arrive at home, for me, it's really difficult to focus, Sometimes I just sit on my sofa and forget about everything. And because of this, I consider that it's a kind of procrastination because you don't have your purpose or your tasks organized, and then you get lost. Oh, what I will do now? Maybe let's scroll in the cell phone, and then I will make the dinner or something like that. And when I realize it, time's passing and I didn't do anything. And I believe that's it, a lack of organization. And also sometimes people are afraid to take risks, or I don't know, afraid of the news. So yeah, these options.
Great questions. Great answer. Uh, when you said took some risks, lack of organization, I was thinking about myself. For me, uh, uh, what works to me is discipline. I try to be very disciplined with my things. I try to plan my day, but I try to plan my whole week. But sometimes I procrastinate with some things, especially when I look to them, I think, oh, this is not a kind of work I like to do. This will take me a lot of time. I will not see this completed, and I procrastinate. But it's a bad decision because as long as you took to begin the task, how uh, long you take to finish that. So start. I
Yeah.
remember one time I was studying Spanish and I read a book. I listened to a podcast about a book, and the title of the book in Spanish was something like "Eat Fast, This Frog," because and the cover letter, the cover was an image of a big oh my gosh, the word, I missed the word. Like the a big a moment, please.
Mhm.
It's this big, gosh, I forgot the word sapo in English.
Ah, frog.
Frog,
Frog.
thank you. All right. I said this moments ago. So the cover was a huge frog. The guy was trying to eat that frog, and that
Oh,
was stuck in his throat. And the message was, the frog is big. As long as you take to start to think how you will eat it, uh, as long you take to finish. So start early, plan your task, cutting small parties, then you finish fast and easy. And that's it. Sometimes I struggle to do some homework, and when I finally start to deal with that and I finish, I feel okay. It was not tough as I was thinking about this. And that's it. I think sometimes in my case, the procrastination is about this. I don't like this kind of task. It will take me a lot of time, but it has to be done.
yeah.
We have to do.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, and I like it, uh the illustration that you said, Marcos. I was thinking about it, I just pictured this book now, imagining the frog in the mouth of the guy. And I totally agree, because in my case, I really don't like do some tasks, uh house tasks, and it's necessary, imagine. And I
Yes.
procrastinate. Oh, I don't want to start to do it. But it's necessary to do. And as you said, if you uh waiting so much to start to do it, will be worse, to finish. So just do it. But sometimes it's really hard have this idea that you need to start. And for example, for things related to my job, I try to. I am a organized person, as I said, in my job, and I am a little methodic too. I like to do every day the same things at the same time. I started every day with the same thing. Okay, I follow like a chronogram. I don't know if this is the correct word, but I try to do it every day. And when something gets wrong or different, I get lost. Really, really, I get lost, because I think I am really methodic. So I need to have this organization in my house too. I am not a messy person, but sometimes I just don't want to do anything. And this is the
Yes.
problem for me.
Sometimes we just wanted to procrastinate. We
Yeah,
ju- we need that slack time. And there are some writers that says that this slack time, this laziness could be helpful to your creativity, for example.
yeah,
But if you procrastinate all the time, begging in this uh, point, you will probably fail about tons of things.
yeah, totally agree.
Okay. Question number two. Can you share an example of a time when procrastination got in the way of your goals?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I can share, for example, I really like studying English. Since my teenagerhood, I like, uh, but I don't have the same motivation to study other things. You know, I started doing online college twice, and I give up twice because of this lack of organization, lack of motivation, and because I didn't like the course too. And I think I can share it with you, because what's going wrong in this case, in my opinion? The fact that I don't like it so much, the course, uh, makes me feel like unmotivated to continuing studying, and I just fail, you know. Oh, I prefer give up on it than, I don't know, finish the course without the knowledge that is necessary to continue growing, like something like that, you know. And I really want to have the motivation and the determination that I have to study in English, in to study other things, you know. Like I really need to have a degree, and I don't know what I want to do because of this. I don't find something that makes me feel, oh, this is something that I really want to do for 3 or 4 for 2 or 4 years, you know. So it's really difficult for me.
I understand. That is the example I want to share for me is the same way to get fluently in English. As I told you before, I work with technology, and all materials I used during my life was in English. I don't remember what time when I had a book or a document, a technical document about any kind of technology I was working with that was written in Portuguese or even translated to Portuguese. But and I work with technology for 30 years. So I study English, I deal with English for 30 years. And I am not fluently yet.
I
And
think you are, Marcos.
thank you. Thank you. And I got it, I could improve it when I organized it myself, turned it into a priority, and started talk and started other things. Few years ago, I used to think that my biggest problem was the listening part. I really had trouble to listen. In a conversation, I could forgot 60, 70% of the conversation. I had trouble to listen to a film, to a TV series. Then I started to work in the listening part, and it improved. And then I realized, okay, I'm okay if I can read, I can listen, I can talk, and I have a good vocabulary. Then I had the opportunity to go to study in the US for
Oh,
2 weeks.
nice.
And then I realized, oh, I don't speak nothing.
Yeah.
I struggled. I frozen. I got myself frozen when I had to speak. I could I could understand 100% of the classes, of the conversations with my colleagues, but I got frozen when I had to talk. So I come back home and turn get it fluently in speaking, my top priorities. And when I organized the things around this, I found time, I found a routine, I found motivation. I think that failure was my initial motivation. Then I could create a system that worked for me, that brings me to this day. When I'm talking to you, you have a very good English, as I told you before, for me. And you replied to me, oh, you also have a good level of English. And that's it. When we create a system that works, we overcome that initial motivation and keep going through that. So I think now that I will not ever more procrastinate about this, and probably about nothing anymore. That
Yeah.
is important. This system can be, in my case, this system can be applied for other things. Make it a top priority. organize things around this and stay there.
Yeah, Marcus, I really loved your deployment, and I would like to ask you something. Do you like English, or you just learn English because your work or something like that?
I like languages. I like learning languages.
Mhm.
Fortunately, I had the opportunity to travel to different countries, and I always try to speak in their native language since the first day, even the basic things. Thank
Nice.
you, welcome, excuse me. I try and I feel great when I do this. I like English. I like to learn English. I personally, I'm amazed to learn about new cultures. Actually, my professional goal is to work in an international project, not because the financial part. Yes, it is important, but because it will be an opportunity to work with people from all around the world, to learn through different cultures, through different histories, and this is amazing to me. And the only way to do this is to learning different language. So English is important, is the universal language,
Yes.
and it will be the universe. I had an interview this afternoon for a position in a company from Uruguay. The interview wasn't in Spanish, but it needs to have in English because they have customers in the US. They have I if I was if I will be chosen, I will work with people from all around the world, and
Nice.
the conversation will be in English. So English is important, but I love to learn different languages.
Yes, I asked it for you because I really love English, as I said for you. And I think when you like something, it's easier. It's became a little more easier to continue, to keep the motivation.
Yeah.
Uh, and I understand that when you said about your experience in US, because last year in October, I did a exchange program for 2 weeks in Liverpool,
Great.
in London. And okay, I, as I said before, I don't have problem to communicate myself because I am confident, even making a lot of mistakes. It's a point. But when I arrived there, it's like I was not in a place that speak in English, because I couldn't understand anything, Marcus. And I got a little frustrated because, oh my gosh, I am stuck for a while and now I am here. And oh my gosh, what's happening? I don't know nothing about English. But then when the time is passing, 1 day, 2 days, it's becoming more easier to understand because the accent, the British accent is really difficult, really
Yes.
strong. And in Liverpool, it's like a countryside. I don't know if it's correct. So it can be worse, to understand people. But after 2 weeks, I was understanding the guys there because I was in an exchange program. So not just British people. There were people from Mexico, from Italy, from Japan, from Iran, this kind of places. So it was a really good experience. But at the same time, I come back to Brazil with the feeling, oh, I need to improve more because I am studying, but it's not enough. It's missing something. I need to try to understand more, try to listening more this accent or something like that. And I don't know, I want this year, 2025, I really want to focus on it, improving my ability to use the grammar correctly because I make a lot of mistakes and I want to fix it, just to have a good communication and try to listening more movies or podcasts in English to get used to the accent, because I really struggled a lot.
Yes. But do you think you could uh, improve during this time, getting used to their accents, to the speed?
Yes, for 2 weeks, I could understand. For example, in the first day, I was on the train or on the train, and I couldn't understand what the guy, I don't know, were saying. And in the last day, when I was come back to Brazil, I needed to go to Liverpool from London, and it took like 3 hours inside the train. And I could understand everything,
Great,
because I get
great.
used to listening then. But imagine it, 2 weeks. Imagine people that do it for 1 month or I don't know, 6 months can be a really good improvement.
Great. For us, it's hard because English is not our native language.
Yeah.
We are always be we will always be in the process of learn, even when we mastered it. The accent part of the thing is interesting. Here in Brazil, talking Portuguese that we are native. When
Yes.
we go to the South region or to the North region, they have different accents, they have different vocabulary, and sometimes it's hard to understand, hard to to establish a communication. I took
Yes.
classes with a native English teacher too, and I shared with him an experience I had with some interviews with Indian recruiters. And he told me, okay, they have a hard accent, but the accent part is hard for everyone. And then she shared with me two stories. One of them of the happened in the bridge in the bridge deputy chamber of deputy or something like that. There was a guy in the chamber and he was Scotchy and he talked for a while, and then another deputy raised the hand and asked, "Okay, man, please repeat what you are talking because I couldn't understand you." And all the guys there laughed, even the Scotch man.
Oh my
Okay, I
gosh.
know my accent's difficult. And he said, "Yes, man, we live in the same islands, but it's hard to understand you." And then the Scotch guy started again, and it was impossible to understand what he was talking because of his accent, because of his speed, even for native English
Yes.
speakers. And the second
Yes.
story was even funny. This guy who is my teacher, my English teacher, used to be uh, a chef, uh, used
Mm-hmm.
to be a cooker. And
Okay.
then once he was for an interview in a Scotch restaurant about meat. It's a barbecue house. But the owner was a Scotch guy. And then when Tim arrived there, they started talking, And then the guy, the owner of the restaurant, asked me, "What do you know about me?" But in the Scotch accent. And then Tim thinking a while, and okay, said he, I don't, not much, because the guy was not famous. Ah,
Mhm.
okay, thank you, bye. And 1 week later, Tim realized that the real question was, what do you know about meat?
Oh my gosh.
But because of that is a barbecue house, they cook meat. And the
Not
guy
much.
asked, the guy asked, what do you know about my main project? Not much. Okay, that's no way we keep moving with this interview. And then the guy, and team is a is a native speaker. He was born in the US. So we struggle with accent. We put ourselves a have uh, charge through
Mhm.
this, but the native ones struggle with accent too.
Yes, I can imagine, and I agree with you. Sometimes we push ourselves too hard, you know. We want
Andrea,
to be, oh,
can you
go-
give me just 1 minute? I have to
yeah,
attend
yeah, of
a
course.
phone. Oh, I'm back. Sorry, was an
Oh,
incoming
don't worry, don't
was
worry.
an incoming call from the reception of my condo. Probably someone at home asked for something, and they
Oh, don't worry.
called to me.
Yes. I forget what I was about to say. Maybe about the,
We were talking about the accents
yeah.
and
uh,
the two Scottish examples.
Yeah, and I was saying about that sometimes we push ourselves too hard, you know.
Yes.
And we want to be perfect, to speak in another language,
Yeah.
and but we are not perfect speaking in Portuguese. And I think this kind of thoughts is just here in Brazil, because if you go to another place, as you already done it, did it, you could realize that people, if they understand you, okay, they don't think so much about your mistakes, you know. And this kind of thoughts is just here. We want to be perfect, and we try, and we start judging the English to the other, o inglês do coleguinha. I don't know how to say
Yeah.
that in English. So I don't like this part, you know. Because of this, I was afraid to talk in the past. Nowadays it's okay, but I suffered a lot because of this kind of judgment, you know. What people will thinking about my English? For me, it's not a problem anymore. But of course, I want to improve, because I want to have a better communication, to understand more the people. As I said, for you, I struggle in listening, but not because I want to show, oh, Andrea, it's perfect in speaking English. No, no, it's not it, you know. I just want to be more comfortable with the language. That's it.
Great, great. Totally agree with you. We should be comfortable.
Yeah.
We will make mistakes. I was talking to Phil. You were part of the acceleration program, right?
Yes.
So you probably had some feedbacks and some interviews, some meetings with him.
Mm-hmm.
In my last feedback, he said me, "Oh, yeah." He analyzed my homework and said me, "Oh, you almost all the time you speaks between B1 and B2 English, and I was focusing on C1, C2." Then he gave me some examples about structures in B1, structures in B2, and structures in C level. And I realized that even in Portuguese, I don't speak C level.
Yeah.
I know that I have this vocabulary I could use, but in daily routine, I will not use that. It will not work in my daily conversations. Then I started to pay attention to the ones with I was interviewing. Which level of English do they speak? They do speak the same level of English we do. B1, B2, two differences. They speak English all day long because this is their job. Second, second one, they are there to judge, not to be judged. I was there to be judged. So they are there to judge it. If they make any mistake, it's okay.
Yes.
But probably it's okay for me if I make some mistakes. They know that English is not my native language. They know that I'm not a fluently or native English speaker. So we don't have to push ourselves so hard.
Yeah. I agree, Marcus. And I was thinking here, uh, I finished my course, my English course in 2023. Yeah, 2023. I achieved a B1, B2 level, and I thought, oh my gosh, maybe I will continue in the school just to finish more 3 books, probably more 2 years or 3 years, 3 years studying English to have a C1, C2 level. But I thought in that time, why I will continue studying to know about C1, C2 level or different kind of words that maybe I will not use in my daily routine,
Yeah.
my daily, I don't know, daily day, I don't know. Uh, just to have a C1, C2 certificate, but I cannot speak
Yeah.
because my problem was to speak, to put my English out, to have this confidence that I have now. And so I thought a lot, and I decided not to continuing. And in my opinion, it was the best thing that I did because it doesn't matter the certificate, as I am saying for you, it's important to have a great communication.
Yes.
You understand, I understand you, and we understand each other and the others, and have I don't know, try to use the grammar correctly or not be perfect, but have a great conversation. And then I just continuing here on Talk and Talk to improve it, and I think it was the best thing, the decision that I made. Maybe one day in the future, who knows, But now I need to focus more in try to use what I've already learned, you know, with the language and put it in practice.
Totally agree with you. Just when we use, that is the moment we can improve something.
Yeah.
We can learn, read, watch to talks, and if we don't use, it will not be helpful. It will not be, we can't improve that. Great. Andrea, can you choose our next question?
Yes, let's go. I will choose the question number 3. It's interesting in my
Okay.
opinion. Do you think procrastination is linked to fear of failure or perfectionism? Why or why not? I do think so. I believe that most of people that procrastinated, it's because are afraid of something, are afraid to start a new project, are afraid to take risks, some risks, and then they decided not to face it and start, oh, let's postpone it, let's do another thing and forget about. Uh, and also people that are perfectionist, uh, maybe they waiting for the perfection and to start doing something. And I don't believe that we need to wait so much to be perfect to start doing something. We just need to face the fear and at least try. So, because I don't think there is a right moment to start a new project or a new thing in your life. You just need to try. Because if you don't try, we will not know if it's the right or wrong decision. I believe that.
Totally agree with you. For me, it could be both. Yes. The fear of failure makes some of us to don't start nothing. But when you don't start, you are failing. You are
Yeah,
failing. If you the only way you can perform well is start. And I used to say that in a good day, I can be great in 50% of the things I try to do. The other 50% will fail. And it's okay. That is a good day for me. In a bad day, probably I will fail in 100% of things. But if I don't start nothing, I will not fail. Nothing. Okay, not you have not failed. But for me, I have learned that failing is a better way to learn something. When you
yeah,
fail something new to you, after that, you knew more than when you started. So it's not a complete complete
yeah,
failure. And sometimes we fear of not being perfect because we fear other judgment. Oh, they will think I can't speak a good English. Okay, and I probably don't speak a good English. I have an accent, I have a lack of vocabulary. Sometimes I stop to think about, and it's okay. I'm trying. Probably in a while I will be better. Some days I will feel better and I will speak a better language. I will perform well my work. Some days I will wake up in a bad mood and will not perform okay. And let's move on. What you need is to get things done, get the job done. So yes, totally agree with you. We
yeah.
people fail, people procrastinate because the fear of failure and perfectionism.
Yes. And Marcos, do you think that uh, for example, here in Brazil, we are used to judge a lot, in my opinion. Do you
Yeah,
think it's more cultural just in Brazil, or do you think it's something world? I think worldwide.
I think it's more uh, related to not exactly to Latin America, but to, I don't know how to explain this, but Latin related people in Italy, in Spanish, in Portugal, in other countries on Latin America, I can see this kind of behavior.
Behavior.
And when I
Nice.
think in I don't know how to name this in English, the Anglo-Saxon languages, English, German, and others, I don't see this kind of behavior. They don't
Yeah.
judge, they are not interested in others' opinions. This could be good for them because don't breaks them to try things. Could be bad because they don't create connections with other peoples, but I think it's behavioral. Not only in Brazil, as I said before, but it's a kind of our origins, our roots, and it's probably in Latin.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said, and I was thinking maybe because, for example, in USA, in Europe, for example, that speaking English, they are more closet, you know.
Yeah,
They don't know, they don't want to know nothing about you. And in Brazil and this kind of place, Italy, I believe that is like the same, you know. People here in Brazil are more outgoing. I don't know if it is the correct word, but we are more welcoming. And I believe that in Italy too, we are like the same. Maybe can be it too, you know, the way that we live. I don't know.
yeah. Okay, I think we have time for one last question. Can you choose the last one?
Yes. Uh, I think number 7. What is one habit you'd like to change to become more productive? I would like to change the way that I said for you that I am not so organized. I would like to be more organized with my tasks, you know. I am sure that if were more organized, I would be able to do my things effectively, you know, not struggling a lot to do. And so it's a habit that I really want to change. Maybe this year I will try to it, organize it my life.
Great to have an entire year to do this,
Yes.
keep in movement. I think I would say one habit I would change to become more productive. Being motivated to start tasks that I'm not involved to, that I'm not related to, I don't like to start them early. I
Mhm,
used uh, to do this with my job. When I'm at my job and I have some tasks that are uh, hard to deal with, that I don't like too much, but it's my job. I have to get them done, and I prioritize them. Sometimes I create some moments when I stop that task that I don't like and deal with one small task that I like. So that energizes me. And probably this is one habit I would change in my personal life. I have
yeah.
something to do in my house. Okay, I don't like to do this. No, I don't, but I will do this. I will do
Yes.
this Saturday. And but it will take me the entire day. No problem at all. At the middle of the day, I will stop this. I will do something that I like. Then I come back. But I will not close this. I will not finish this till the end of the day. No problem. I continue this on the next Saturday, on the Sunday, but that is a way to not procrastinate anymore with the
Yes,
tasks, I think.
totally agree with you, Marcos.
Okay, Andrea, I hope you enjoyed our immersion, our conversation. I can
I
say
love
you that
it.
I love it.
I
Thank
love it
you.
too. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
I left the link to the survey in the chat. If you can give me any feedback, it will help me a lot.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the conversation. Good evening.
Thank you, Marcos. Good evening. See you around.
See you.
Bye-bye.